Hey, it's Joe Crump. This is training module number 11. It's titled How to Talk to Your Seller Leads So They Sign Over Their House. This short video can't possibly give you all the information you need to talk to these people, but what I want to do is direct you to the training module that does that for you. It's such an important part of this process. There's nothing really more important than being able to put together a deal. Automation is fantastic, and it makes the business work and function in a consistent, regular, reliable way. But if you don't know how to put together the deals, it makes it much more difficult to put these things together. And the biggest learning curve that you're going to have is not learning how to use all this automation, because you can press a few buttons and get it going. The big learning curve for you is going to be learning how to talk to sellers and make an offer. So come to the training tab when you open your auto marketer, come to training conference call recordings with Joe, listen to the for rent method, and then scroll down the page and listen to talking to sellers, and listen to this one 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Keep listening to it, because the more you listen to it, the more these words are going to get into your mouth. They're going to make it so they just pop out and you're not going to have to think about it anymore. Right now, I've got you using the script, and if you scroll up to the top of the page again, I use the for rent method contracts. In this download, it's got the lease option agreement memo, the resident documents, the addendum to the documents, the phone script, and the tenant application. This phone script is going to be valuable to you to learn how to speak to these people, to have the right questions, to make it easier. But the more you listen to the talking to sellers audio, the better you're going to understand how to speak these words, so that the phone script no longer sounds like you're saying a script, so that you're no longer sounding like you're reading. You know how terrible it is when you get a call from AT&T and the guy on the other line, barely speaks English, and he's reading, and it sounds like he's reading, and he doesn't sound competent, intelligent, or it doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about. I got on a chat just yesterday with Adobe on their support site, and the guy had no idea what I was talking about. He could not understand what I was discussing with him, and so it made their credibility drop through the floor. And I have a pretty high regard for Adobe and the products that I use, because I do video editing with that. But if they don't, if you talk to them and you don't have any credibility, if you don't have any ability to talk to these folks, it's going to be very hard to put these deals together, because you won't sound like you know what you're doing. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get on the phone and talk to these people, these deals, as they come in, even with no experience. You just have to know that when you do it, you're going to sound like an idiot. You're not going to sound like you're the sharpest knife in the drawer. But that's okay. You'll learn by doing. The only thing you've got to sacrifice here is your ego, and that's okay. Nobody's going to remember you. Nobody's going to care about you. And I think one of the things to remember as you're putting these deals together is nobody really does. None of the sellers you're dealing with here, nobody cares about you or what you need. And I'm not saying that to be cynical. I'm just saying that that's the way the world works with marketing. When you're out there, you're there to solve a problem for them, or they're not interested. If you're not a solution to their problem, then you're not useful to them, and they're going to want to move on quickly. And until they understand that you are a solution to their problem, they're going to feel that way. So you're going to, and remember, a lot of the leads that are coming in here, they're going to be either warm leads or hot leads coming in with people that are already saying, yeah, tell me more about lease options, or yeah, I'm interested in a lease option, or yeah, I'd be interested in a lease option, but I want $20,000 down. There's going to be different expectations from people, and they're going to want different things from you. And you have to lead them through this process that I teach you on these audios to get them to comply, to get them to accept your terms and do it your way, because you don't want to do it their way. You want to do it your way. You want to do it the way that I teach you, because the way that I teach you works, where the way they want to do it may not work. So do it the way you know that works, so you're not spinning your wheels too much. And the more you do this, the better you get at it, the less you're going to take deals that don't make sense. Sometimes in the beginning you take a deal that maybe doesn't make quite as much sense, or you do more of the things that they want to do than the way you want to do it, because you're just not that good on the phone yet. You're not that good talking to them, or you're not that good convincing them that you know what you're talking about. But after a while, you're gonna, if you take a couple of bad deals that you can't sell, they don't cost you any money, they don't affect your credit, they don't hurt anybody by you doing them, except for the fact if they're bad deals, you won't get them sold and you won't make any money. And if that happens, you're going to want that not to happen the next time. And if you start doing that several times in a row, you're going to really not want that to happen. And that's at that point, you're going to decide, well, I'm going to do it the way Joe taught me to do it instead of trying to do it my own way. I'm going to try to get it priced properly, not the purchase price, but the monthly payment priced properly. I'm going to structure it, and I'm going to have control over it the way I need to have control over it in order to sell that property. So that's what talking to sellers is all about. And I hope you'll learn from the lessons that I've got, because I go into it in much more detail on that call. And I think maybe the most important thing, and I learned this when, I don't know how many of you know my story, but when I was in California, when I first began as an investor, I built a large business very quickly, and then the crash came in 1991, and I lost everything. I lost, houses, millions of dollars I lost, and it was very painful for me. And I actually moved back to Indiana at that time. We had a new baby. I had to get back on my feet, and I became a realtor. And the only thing that made me get out of the slump was when I was able to take my focus and say, stop feeling sorry for myself, stop feeling sorry for the things that I couldn't do or that I couldn't accomplish, and start thinking about the people that I was trying to help. And as soon as I did that, everything changed, because suddenly they could sense it. They could sense that I was there to solve their problem, and I wasn't thinking about making money, even though I desperately needed money at the time. But I had to change the way I thought about it. And as soon as I did that, the whole dynamic changed. And it'll do the same for you. If you can go into this with compassion and love for the people that you're talking to, even the irritable people, even the people that you don't really like that much, you know that they wouldn't be advertising if they're home for sale unless they had a need. And they may not tell you they've got a need, but believe me, they're not going to be wasting their time running an ad, taking these calls, unless they have a real need to get it done. And by using the auto marketing system and pulling out the people that are raising their hand saying, yeah, I might consider your solution, those are the people that are going to be easiest to talk to. So I'm trying to bring this down to make it as easy as possible for you, but you still have to learn how to speak to these people to make it work. So I wish you the best. Don't give up. Keep at it. This has worked in every place that we've done. Don't find excuses for why it's not going to work for you, and then get through the process, because once you learn how to do it, it gets a lot easier. The first deal may take you weeks or months to get done, but after that, it's going to be a lot easier to get the second, third, fourth, fifth deal, seventh deal, 100th deal. They're a lot easier because now you get on the phone, you spend 10, 15 minutes with the people, you put the deal together, you put it together properly, and then you hand it off and get that property sold. So it becomes your income per hour goes way, way up. And that's when it starts getting exciting. And so that's when you start seeing this money pouring into your bank account, and what makes this all worthwhile. So stick with it, learn the process, learn love and compassion for the people that are trying to sell their properties, the people that you're trying to help, and give them the best that you can. Talk to them like they're your children. Talk to them like they're your loved ones, your parents. Talk to them with authority, and talk to them with love, and show them how to fix the problem. That's what we've got the solution to. That's what we're here for. And the result of that will be a big pile of money in your bank. All right. Good luck.